Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Vader 400 and the brown skin Hewitt, coming back at you with another video cartoon intro remake review intro. This is the intro to various remade cartoon reviews and rants. For some odd reason, even though I did do this in the past, when it one of the Sonic songs I used has a copyright on it, and it's not a big deal. But if I ever when I decide to set this channel up, when I get eligible for monetization, I can't get any money from ads from the video, so that's why I'm just redoing it with two different songs that surprisingly don't have copyrights on them. This version is the same as the last one, except my clothes and stuff will be different, and of course the intro songs will be different. Instead of using what I'm made of, I will use the songs intros will be Weekend and Sonic's Back in Time. And for cartoons that do deserve a rant, or for videos that do deserve a rant, what I'm made of will be used as the outro for the various cartoons. So yeah, this is the intro to various narration. Part 1 will be narration. Second part will be season and episode webcam reviews spliced together to one video. Some of these won't go on all platforms. Yes, some of these will only go on YouTube, and some of these will only go on Facebook. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Let's go back in time to when television and cartoons were great.
Hey everybody, I apologize for the lighting. I wanted to do this video earlier, but it's raining outside and it was extremely dark, so I had to turn the light on. But as you can see by the title, this is my long part 3 webcam season 1 review of the 1980s Ruby Spears classic cartoon, sci-fi action cartoon, The Centurions, as the Douglas Blair Roberts YouTube social media personality-based character. This is off camera. The larger part 4 real-life superhero version, which will be on camera, will be in the description box below. This is the social media personality actor version. Yeah, the episode that will play in the background is season 1, episode 3, and I will be talking about episodes 1 through 13. I will also be giving later, much later, be doing the post reaction and post reviews of each episode. So yeah. Been trying to get this video out for a long time, but I've been having various computer problems. For some odd reason, my video maker I use, for some odd reason, is slows down my computer. It was at one point not only slowing it down, but zapping my computer space. So from now on, in order to prevent that from happening, from both the computer slowing down and it zapping my hard disk space, I have to constantly close the movie player when I'm finished, or when I'm not using it. When I can use to for the past decade, I always kept it open, but now I gotta close it until I do another video, and as soon as I finish that video, I gotta close it again. So, with that being said, let me start the video and get started right now.
In the near future, Doc Terror and his cyborg companion hacker.
Yeah, the Centurions. Like I said in the previous part 1 and 2 narration versions, I first saw the Centurions in the mid-90s when it made its grand premiere on Cartoon Network's action block, The Power Zone, one of the many predecessors to the much more popular Toonami, and the successor to Cartoon Network's first action block, The Super Adventures. Yeah, this was I instantly became a fan of the show. However, I only watched the show on and off. I only watched the show on and off because Cartoon Network was 24 hours, and that was one of the first cartoon channels I saw. I didn't have my own TV then, so I could only see it then. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, they moved the show to Cartoon Network's Boomerang block, so I had to wake up early in the morning or stay up late at night to watch that. And then in the mid to late 2000s, the move I hated the most, they removed all of Cartoon Network's old Hanna-Barbera, Ruby Spears, and Warner Brothers and MGM cartoons, all those classic cartoons. They removed them to the Boomerang block to focus on exclusively new material for Cartoon Network. So I can only watch the show on and off. Finally, in the early 2010s, decades 2012 and 13, finally got to watch the episodes in order, or at least a couple. However, I didn't review it back then. It took a decade for me to finally review it because, like I said, there was way too much happening. In this show to keep up that I just couldn't do I couldn't do a long review of it, so that's why I came up with the idea of doing a short narration, two short narration intros, and then after watching more, two larger webcam versions, and post-episode review and reactions. I like doing multiple reviews, and I got a couple of tie-in reviews. As this was briefly a franchise in the 80s, spanning action figures, which were okay, and a prequel. I think a prequel comic. I don't know which came first, either the comic or the animated series. Anyway, that's my history of the show. The actual show's history was, this was created in 1986 with legendary writers, by Movie Spears Production, and legendary writer Larry Huber, one of the only producers and writers from the show who's still alive today, and legendary writers like the late Larry Dotillo and Michael Reeves, who both in recent decades have passed away. Larry Dotillo in 2021, which I did not know, and Michael Reeves earlier this year, and many other writers who are still with us today crafted this awesome cartoon with the toy line. This show was obviously created to compete with Hasbro's G.I. Joe and Transformers. It looks like a G.I. Joe and Transformers cartoon in several scenes. I was surprised to see that it wasn't a Hasbro production. This was a Movie Spears production. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest cartoons they've ever made, and not only one of the greatest cartoons they ever made, but one of the greatest cartoons of all time, and one of the greatest cartoons of the 80s. I think this is way better than Transformers and G.I. Joe, but it wasn't quite as popular as those show was, and this show focused way more on science. They did action, drama, and other stuff in entertainment. It focused way too much on science, which is why the show didn't last long. It debuted with a five-part season 1 miniseries, followed by a 60-episode season 2. I'm reviewing it season by season, how it actually would have been produced versus how it actually was produced. How it would have been produced, you would have had 13 episodes, and I'm reviewing this 13 episodes apiece, 5 sets of 13 will eventually total up to 65 episodes, which is what they have. So the first 13, then 13 through 26, then 26 through 39, then 39 through 52, and finally, last but not least, 52 through 65 to finish it. That's how I'm reviewing this show. This show was a hybrid of the 1980s action films like Commando, Terminator, Predator.
Okay, recap.
Predator, Die Hard, Mad Max.
The deep scan probes did activate a defense
Mad Max,
mechanism, which is what destroyed the probe ship.
Rambo, and the later produced.
No one could have predicted what happened.
The later produced
I'm only glad they're safe.
And so am I, Miss Kane. But the comet signals were my discovery.
Sylvester Stallone film Cobra, and the later produced Cyborg 1989 films, and especially this series right here, the Magnum PI series starring the legendary actor Tom Selleck. There was one funny comment in the YouTube section that called this show Tom Selleck and his amazing friends, because all three are main characters, but the lead character and the leader of the Centurions, Max Ray, who has the green and black armor exosuit, he bears a striking resemblance to an Olympic swimmer and young Tom Selleck himself. He also looks like Don Fry, but this is before MMA fighter and wrestler Don Fry was famous. It's a combination of all those and the Marvel and DC comics, particularly Iron Man and Power Suit power suit Lex Luthor with elements of G.I. Joe Transformers, G.I. Joe Transformers, and another superhero show that was on at the time, a sci-fi superhero show called Bionic 6. That's what this show is a cross between. The show is a science fiction show about this military force called the Centurions, where man and machine combine by saying power extreme, raising their hands in the air, and by saying power extreme, they combine to form these armored warriors with Crystal Kane, the lead female character, at the desk, serving as like the Pepper Potts from Iron Man, weapons specialist who equips the Centurions with their weapons and what they need on each missions. The main characters I mentioned, the leader Maxwell Ray, who has the green and black armor, he's the sea expert. Then you got Jake Rockwell, the land expert and the most aggressive, with Max Ray being the level-headed member. You got Jake Rockwell, the most the headstrong, impulsive, and aggressive member, being the land expert and the best hand-to-hand combat expert. And then you got Ace McCloud, the flight expert. The flight expert, he takes it to the sky and into the space, and he's a womanizer and constantly hits on various women throughout the series, including Crystal Kane, who shoots down his advances. This military force was created to combat the forces of the evil Doc Terror. The evil Doc Terror, his henchman Hacker, and his daughter Crystal, who want to take over the world and enslave the world and turn everyone into robots. And each episode deals with the Centurions' conflict with Doc Terror, Hacker, and Crystal. But sometimes they face other bad guys. Other bad guys and threats too. This, like I said, this whole thing was one gigantic shared universe of its own. It's a cartoon that was awesome as a kid, and it's even better as an adult. Now that I understand it more, it's even better than I thought it would be when revisiting this cartoon. Despite how awesome this cartoon was. Oh yeah, let me continue before I get to the negatives. Other positives from this cartoon: lots of action. You have lots of aerial, sea, land vehicle action with guns and stuff. The whole thing plays out like a sci-fi action movie and a comic book. And it's awesome, mixed with a comic book, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. Now, I mentioned the voice acting, animation is great. Animation is so great that in several scenes it looks like anime. And like I said in the part 1, they made sure that intro was the best animated and the best ever, because the intro and the outro looks way better than the show itself. The intro looks like an anime. The show looks like a regular Saturday morning cartoon, and reason for the awesome Japanese intros because Sunrise, I think that's what it's called, Sunrise did some of the animation from this. So part of this looks like the old Gundam and mecha basic cartoons from the 70s and 80s. So yeah. Only things I don't like about these cartoons, there are various inconsistencies in various episodes, and the bad guy, Doc Terror. In the part 1 I mentioned that he was a threat to the Centurions. Yeah, he's a threat, but he's not a physical threat. He has to build robots or make deals with other people to combat the Centurions, because him and Hacker, despite being half human and machine like the Centurions, they are no match for the Centurions, so he has to do other, more technical ways to combat them. He can't combat them hand to hand. And I like aces in the holes, and variant and technique when it comes to fighting. Aces in the holes when it comes to fighting. But at times I just want to see two superpowered guys or beings going at it. And that's what I want to see here. You kind of don't really get a lot of, that. Like not only does he have to build robots or make deals with people, but sometimes he has to get rid of the Centurions. He has to find a way for the Centurions to take off or get rid of their armor so he can kidnap and harm them himself. Yeah, that's what he has to do to be a threat. Yeah. So yeah, that was everything else about the show. Now for the episodes. All 13 episodes were exciting. However, it's hard to remember and keep up with what happened in each one. The mini-series was an awesome introduction with episodes 3 through 5 being the best, followed by 2, the second best, and the third best and weakest was episode 1. Episode 1 was a phenomenal start to the series, but it had one minor inconsistency, and that was Doc Terror's plan. In this episode, he wanted to use some kind of firestorm from space to wipe out all life on Earth, and he wanted to rebuild the people on Earth as cyborgs. That would be a good plan if Doc Terror was a sorcerer, which he is not. If he kills people, that's the end of him. He wanted to kill them and then resurrect them as cyborgs. He has the ability to confront. He has the ability to turn an injured, mutilated person into a cyborg who's still alive, just injured and mutilated into a cyborg. He does not have the power to resurrect anyone. He does not have the power to resurrect anyone from the dead. Making them into a cyborg will not restore them to life if they're already dead. Episode 2 was a real good episode, and there's continuity. I thought it was just a regular Hanna-Barbera cartoon. When it comes to Hanna-Barbera or Ruby Spears cartoons, most of their cartoons, especially the ones from the 60s and 70s, which was their time. In the 80s, no one cared about them in the 80s, despite the fact that the 80s and later the 90s, some of their best works happened. But no one cared about Hanna-Barbera and Ruby Spears in the 80s. But anyway, when you go back to the 60s and 70s, there was hardly any continuity in between the episodes and cartoons. There was rarely continuity. Here, there is. Besides the Centurions, the bad guys, and Crystal Kane, you do see reoccurring characters here. Like one is Maylene. In episode 2, we take it to the SeaWorld, which is where the Centurions' weapons, which is an underwater civilization where the Centurions' weapons are made. In episode 3 is interesting. We take it to space and they fight a cat alien who absorbs energy, energy, and they have to defeat it by overloading with energy, giving us one of our first and only kills in the series. And I guess they got away with killing it because it was seen as an alien creature. Surprised they got away with a murder in an 80s cartoon. 4. This was a dinosaur-themed episode where Doc Terror discovers a lost dinosaur civilization and takes advantage of the dinosaurs. And it takes advantage of the people who control these dinosaurs, mechanical-looking dinosaurs, to fight the Centurions. This plot reminded me of both Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, and Jurassic Park. And this is like 7 to 10 plus, 6 to 10 plus years before Turok and Jurassic Park. So, yeah, then you got episode 5 where they take it to Egypt. I think it's Egypt. They take it to some foreign land and deal with a guy named Naideen. I keep forgetting what episode 6 was about, but it was good. And then you got the much superior episode 7 where they got to stop a mad scientist from taking over the world with artificially created tornadoes. Episode 8, one of the greatest episodes in the series. So much action where the Centurions an Avengers Centurion style mercenary team with the same abilities as the Centurions. There's same abilities as the Centurions with a leader who looks like Thor. Then episode 9. Episode 9, they gotta stop some foreign cult from getting a special diamond and impersonating a special doctor. Episode 10, one of the scariest episodes. They gotta stop a gigantic robotic mutant plant from spreading, reproducing, and taking over the world. All of the buildings and ground has gigantic, powerful robotic plants going out of them. One of the scariest things I've seen in the cartoon. Then we got episode 11, the much superior battle beneath the episode 11, battle beneath the sea. 12, another space themed episode, and where in the battle beneath the sea, the SeaWorld people, mainly the SeaWorld people, return in this episode. Then you got episode 13, where they gotta fight they gotta fight a robot with the computer head, with the face of a woman, which is part of a video game designed by a kid who was tricked by Dr. and Hacker. So yeah. Episodes 3 through 5, 8 and 10 and 11 through 13 were the supreme best episodes of the series. These are the ones I watch over and over again. But these all 13 of these episodes were a phenomenal start to an awesome series. Can't wait to rewatch episodes 14 through 26 and get that review to you. But this was Centurions. To see the larger part 2 real life superhero version, the link will be in the description box below. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
Now to really put us in orbit.
Everyone can do something special.